Welcome everyone. I'm Natasha Bray, Success Mastery Coach for women entrepreneurs who want to unlock their ultimate up level. And I'm here today with the amazing Beaudy. So Beaudy has got many strings to her bow. She's the founder of Fun for Day and Beauty Labs. And I'm going to just hand you over to Beaudy now to tell you a little bit more about what she does and who she helps and how. So over to you, Beaudy.
Thanks, Natasha. Oh my gosh, it's been such an amazing journey. My name is Beauty, and I'm from the island of Guam. Alongside Fun Forte and Beauty Labs, I'm also an applied suicide intervention skills training trainer, and I'm a team leader, house leader, and business mentor with the Female Entrepreneur Association. And that's kind of like, I love to mention that because that's where we met, is through the FEA. So that's just such an honor and such a big deal for me, because without the FEA, we wouldn't have been, be able to do so much amazing work together. And oh my gosh, I've just come such a long way. And it's so cool because like my body's reacting to, all of that emotion that has been released through the program, because I just woke up like maybe 15 minutes ago, but my eye is like tearing, like you can really tell from your body's to the people that are around you with the type of just joy, like uttered. So I'm very thankful for you and the experiences that you have guided me through. So I'm very honored to be here.
Beauty. And it's been an incredible journey, actually, hasn't it? And it's been amazing. You were already a very accomplished woman before you came into the UUA, but I've seen you really blossom even more since. So just to give the people watching a bit of an idea of, so where were you before joining the UUA, and what made you decide to join the UUA is the Ultimate Uplevel Academy, where we heal all of the success saboteurs that are holding you back in your business. Tell us a little bit about where you were before that.
Oh my gosh, I just loved following your journey and all the content, as well as like the teachings that you brought about. I think it was just really through your Facebook page, and I was like, yes, yes. And everything everything you kept posting, I was like, yep, that's me, that's me, that's me. So all these little check marks that you continue to put out, I was like, wow, I didn't even notice these things about myself. And it was like as if I was having having my higher self talk to myself, and I really enjoyed the content that you placed about. So yeah, that's one of the major things that made me join the Ultimate Uplevel Academy, was really just seeing your path, and you pretty much place those stepping stones down there for us, and you're like, here, let's make this journey easier. Follow what I've taught, what I've learned. Here's what I've done, and maybe it might help you too. And it definitely did, because before UUA, I was in such a hustler mode. I think that was definitely my saboteur. And it was just so enlightening to be able to see the process in a much clearer path, because there's so many different directives and suggestions online, and as somebody who loves to research, you're like, okay, let's go just continue to do all of this work, right? But with the Ultimate Uplevel Academy, it's like rather than scrambling all over the place, it's just like, here, get the messy work done in this safe space, in this container, with people who are on a similar journey to you. And I was able to connect with so many people, but I grew closer to Laura and Tracy. They've been just such a joy in my life as well. And yeah, I was messy professional before, but now I am in such a state of like eternal vacation. So I'm so thankful for that.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing that. And what do you think was the biggest changes that you saw going through the deep healing work that we do in the academy?
Oh gosh, just like I mentioned earlier, emotionally, definitely, because I have gone through some types of therapies before, but never have I invested in them. And I continue to do the air quotes because I've always just been like a very go with the flow person. And you're, like I mentioned earlier too, before we even started recording, was that, or like before we even met today, it was that your program was the first one that I've ever invested in. I've never set money aside to really invest in myself. And that was such a luxury for me at that time, you know? So any whatever I was able to do, or like if anything came up, there were so many different financial things that came up for me. I'm like, you know what? No, I'm gonna continue to make these payments because this is a like necessity for me, even though it felt like a luxury at the time. But as we continued to learn, I was like, oh wow, the money's just coming in out of nowhere. The things are getting paid. I wasn't too worried about it like I would have been before. And I was just like, oh, you know, let's just go with the flow. It'll come, it'll come. So those were the major teachings from that, is just allowing the abundance to come through. Before I was always actively searching for it. I'm like, okay, I gotta make these payments. I gotta make these payments. Just scrambling around and really, again, in that hustler mode. I'm still very much a qualitative results person, and I'm working on transferring those types of, I guess, feelings again towards money, around money. But like I mentioned earlier, being able to get through the program has been just such a big relief for me. Spiritually as well, there has been so many like discoveries, self-discoveries in myself. I, like when I was a little girl, I had a lot of different types of clairvoyances available to me. And I felt that after going through the UUA, I was really able to tune into that. And now it's just kind of coming back to me like sporadically, but it's showing itself that it's still there. So I'm very thankful for those gifts to like emerge again, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. We all shut off those gifts that we have when we're little for whatever reason. And lots of other women as well, as you have experienced that, almost like the return of their spiritual gifts, which is really amazing. And I remember, I think, didn't you have your like biggest ever
Yeah.
proposals here in the academy?
Oh yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, I think it was really weird too, because during that time I just paid off that specific amount, like that specific numeration of debt. I think it was like 47, 40, something in the 40,000 figure range. And then right after I paid off that amount of debt, like within that week or that month or something to that effect, the same amount of money that I spent on, you know, replace or paying off the debt, it came in as like the total of the contract. And I was like, whoa, this is so scary. Like, this is really weird, but beautifully weird, you know, because I was like, wow, this is showing that things are working. And I was just so happy because it manifested itself in that particular contract. And then yeah, and other types of opportunities came about definitely afterwards. Being able to write the book with you all, and then I joined other authorship cohorts, finishing up my own book as well, and writing more. So yeah, it's just been like very, very magical, but with the ease versus the hustle. Like now I go on walks every day. Like I think my goal on my little Fitbit thing here is like 10,000 steps. And before that, I wouldn't be doing that. I wouldn't choose myself first. I wouldn't honor myself first. And that has definitely contributed to being more aware. Like that's pretty much, you know, what your program, like the bottom line, that's what your program allowed for me, is to really honor myself and be more aware of who I was, who I want to be, and how I can kind of work towards that.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And Were there other sort of results, I guess, from that? Because a lot of the work that we do is the deep internal transformation. Were there like other things in your business that changed? Like you mentioned some opportunities. Was there like price changes, those types of things that you can
Oh
recall?
yeah, definitely. I followed in your footsteps, and so many of the other ladies. I raised my prices, I think maybe like tenfold. And then, yeah, because I used to charge 200 an hour and I bumped it up to 2000 for that intensive that I usually do. And I'm like, you know what? I'm here to serve the founders of these nonprofits. And I know that they're at their stages in life already where they can afford me. And if they don't, then it's okay. I have the free resources that they can utilize. And I didn't feel bad about it anymore. And I was like, oh wow, this is such a great feeling to be able to honor myself and really put that nice price tag where I know it's in like not necessarily a luxurious state, but it made me feel luxurious. I've also been able to start renovating my home. I've slashed debt to like, I think I probably only have $4,000 left in my debt bucket. So that's been really great. And I also was able to put together like my millionaire idea path during the UUA. So I still have that like right there on my board and for one of my companies. So that's just like something I look at every day, and it's been such a like refreshing feeling for me because I've always had those, millionaire ideas floating around, but that wasn't necessarily something that was of importance to me. So I continued to just hone into that and really make it a priority now. And a lot of people like to say to make sure that we put our affirmations all over, and I've always done that, but I've never been like intentional about it. I would just be like, oh, those are cute, I'll read it when I need it. But now it's intentional and it's helping me get there faster. And of course, putting together teachings with the UUA as well as other things that I'm learning from so many different people. It's just such a great it really feels like the fire starter for me, like reigniting my passions, because throughout the years that I've been working, like you mentioned, there's a lot of like accolades that I've achieved, but those were things that other people recognized me for and other people gave me versus what I wanted for myself, if that also makes sense too. So yeah, very refreshing.
Yes, I know. There's so much has happened. You actually graduated a year ago. For anyone watching, Beauty graduated a year ago. She's authored and co-authored multiple books in that time. She is literally like a superwoman. Renovating her house, running multiple businesses. What would you say? Because I think one of the key things I want to show people is that the transformation doesn't stop. It's not like oh, you do it and you only get results while you're in the container and then it ends. It's like a
Right.
snowball that grows and grows. Like you said, it was the fire starter, almost like the igniter for so many things.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important for people to know that when you do this level of inner work, it really is that fire starter or the snowball effect, as I like to call it. And how would you say things have impacted, or the work that you did has impacted your family?
Oh gosh, so much so. Like I remember around that time, I was still allowing so many people to kind of, come into my life and take up that energy and take up that space rent free. And I started to really take tally of who was just sucking the energy out of me. And honestly, those were some of the things that were sucking the energy out of me were the old versions of myself saying, Beauty, you gotta recharge, you gotta stop charging so much. No one's gonna want to book. And of course it's gonna come up because we come from such a giving place. um another thing that I've also created and I'm still like working on was my program, and I've just been like, I think I called it, I haven't worked on it in a while, but that's because like, there was just so many things that popped up, and I was like, oh no, I'm not ready for this, to put together my own program and to put together my own courses. And I was like, no, you know what? I'll just take a pause for it. COVID hit the family, and it took like a month or two for us to get it eradicated. I'm like, okay, maybe this is not the time. This is just a time for healing, a little bit more healing. So we got to pause on these types of things. So it also made me realize that type of stuff where I can focus on the kiddos and make sure that my time is spent with them versus continuing into that hustler mode and ending up burning out at the end, which I promised myself to never do. So being able to recognize my saboteurs again was such an important thing for me. And that trickled into the family as well, where they're saying, oh wow, it's nice to see you not working like crazy hard again. And when they see my posts and they're like, oh, she's at the beach again, what is that beach doing? What is she doing over there at the beach again? So it was really fun to be able to say, like, my mission right now is like eternal vacation. I want to continue to be on vacation, like vacation mode, and get excited to go back to work versus working forever and getting excited to go on vacation. So that flip of the switch, like now I only work maybe once or twice out of the week, and I really just like laser focus on my work during those days that I'm actually like working, creating content. Showing up as the visionary as well was such a big thing for me, because I wouldn't allow myself to do that before. I would be like, no, I have to cook, I have to clean, I have to do all these other things, scramble around and be, again, superwoman to everybody everywhere, versus taking that crown off and really just putting it aside and be like, no, you don't need to be superwoman today. Just go and have fun, go relax, go take a nap on the beach, go and eat whatever you want to eat, and really enjoy myself, because I have served everybody else besides myself for the longest time. So honoring myself was just such a healthy decision for myself and my family. And it also, the healing has also like spread out to my family members as well, like my parents, like my dad saying words like magical now, and I'm just like, you're so funny, and that's how I've always been. But to hear him say that, to actually say that, and to acknowledge the healing has been profound, because so many of my doing the inner work, it all leads back to my parents, and to be able to please them. So seeing that they're listening to me now and that I'm heard now has been such a definitely life-changing. So that's definitely how it's affected my family.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
You talked a lot about how, like, this letting go of this hustle, and like, really you have. I love that concept of eternal vacation. And
Yeah,
would you say that's been the biggest change for you?
definitely. Because being from the island of Guam, we are taught to work hard, and we are taught to definitely try to honor the family. And we don't necessarily have indigenous words for self-healing. We have indigenous words for healing the community, but we don't have any type of teachings for healing ourselves. So that was such a big change for me. And a lot of the healing like therapies and the offerings that we have here on island are very Western. So they don't honor the traditional methods that we have as well in regard to our healing work and medicines and things like that. So being able to use the Beauty Co Labs brand has really guided me to make like visual and audible medicine for my community. And it's kind of different, because of course, like, well, for our culture, we don't have any written language. It's all spoken. So being able to go back into that ancestral storytelling mode and be able to share my stories with the people who have followed my journey, and being able to just be transparent and real with them. Like, I've always been that way, but through your teachings, I've been able to share, the most vulnerable parts of me. I think one of my stories that went viral was just like me going to jail for a day, and people were like, "What? You went to prison?" And they're like, it was just so funny for me to see how reactive my community and my family members were, because so many of them didn't know about it. And sharing, like, that's one of the most embarrassing things for me. So sharing that with everyone, I think it got like 400 likes and thousands of shares. And I was like, oh my goodness, these people are ridiculous. And all it was just a video of me scrolling through a document that I kind of like wrote up, because I was wrongfully in prison. So I wrote up like the entire list of things that happened. And I shared it. My face wasn't there, nothing. It was only like a 7-second video. And I was just laughing so much because people were finally starting to see, like, oh, she's not this perfect little princess that everyone is seeing her to be. And I was like, yeah, man, like, this is what it's about, is being able to let others know that I'm transparent. I'm here to help you guys. I know how things have been, and we need to stop looking through just one lens, and being able to also appreciate different perspectives has been such like a great doorway and window for me now. So definitely.
It sounds like you were able to like drop the perfectionism and just really let
Yeah.
them see you as fully you, and that's led to more connection and more visibility.
Oh, definitely.
And more impact then on the people that are reading this, and giving them permission to not be perfect as well,
Right.
and to know of things that they might have felt ashamed about. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
It's been wonderful to have you back 1 year later to see your continued amazing success. And I know there's so much more to come too. And for anyone who wants to find out more about what you do, how can they find out more? Do you have a
Oh,
website?
sure. Yeah, I have a website, but I really like to connect just through my personal handles. So on Instagram, it's Beauty and Brains, and that's BEAUDY, the letter N, and then BRAINS. And then on Facebook, it's just my name, BEAUDY, and then CAMACHO, Beauty Camacho. And then from there, if they need me, they can connect with me professionally. All of my links are there.
That's amazing. Thank you. And if anybody's watching this thinking that you'd like to go through the healing experience that Beauty went through in the Ultimate Uplevel Academy, you can find the links below, or get in touch if you want to ask me some questions around that. Thank you, Beauty, for coming back.
Thank
It's
you.
good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you. And I can't wait to find out what's going to happen in another year's time. So bye for now.
Lots. Bye.